So, we're allowed to go meet Boz. But I can't meet him as this fat guy in shorts and a crop top. Let's plumb the depths of Kalasar for a new face.
How's it going, pal? Take a booth. The most beautiful girls in Omikron are here, dancing nude just for you. Go ahead. Won't regret it.
Thanks for the advice. That's a very nice shirt, sir. Girls aren't actually nude. I would be surprised if they were originally, but the distributor made Quantic put bikinis on them. Aw, yeah, gyrate on top of that dartboard that appears to be repelling you like a magnet, girl. Yeah. Love the mushroom cut and opera gloves look. Well, I'm spent. Well worth the money. Now we're Leylin, prostitute and Philistine. She's got a pendant that you can sell at the bank for 175 sedeks. Omikron was of course heavily marketed for the reincarnation mechanic. The way reincarnation was described, if you ever dropped dead in this rich and detailed world, some random character would come by and your soul would jump into them and you'd be a completely new character. That turned out to be an entirely scripted element and not randomized at all. And of course the habitable bodies are just placed deliberately. The reincarnation mechanic is just very poorly implemented. When you switch bodies, the old one is left standing around, glowing, transparent, and you can just walk through them. And there's no way to switch back. I'm not sure what the designers intended, but what it looks like is that you utterly destroy the bodies you leave behind. And that very quickly reinforces the idea that you're the real monster here. Particularly because the video game player character in Omikron is given a characterization of his own, you never really get the chance to become immersed in the world. You're just playing the adventures of some aloof, disinterested asshole who burns his way through the inhabitants of this other dimension like a vampire. If more was done to make the actual player feel actually connected to this game world and its people, the experience would have been far more memorable. Really, I think all they had to do was put in a little animation of your previous body's owner dizzily shaking their head and walking off screen and disappearing forever, just to make you feel like you're not just tossing bodies away like they're nothing to you. Ideally, and I think this might have been part of the original plans, you would have been able to go back and forth between bodies without losing them. Something that certainly should have been part of it is different bodies having advantages to the adventuring portion. Like now, Kale has almost free reign of the police station and you can possess a couple of guards in order not to get attacked. You should have been able to possess a Tetra secretary in order to walk into their building, possess an enemy soldier and actually interact with other soldiers, possess a pedestrian and just disappear into the crowd after a mission. Just do something interesting with it. The potential is limitless. Maybe to avoid making it too powerful, insert a mechanic where no one can see you when you take over someone's body or you'll get arrested. Anyway, time for Bowie to shine again.
So here you are, the stranger in Omikron, conqueror of demons. Dagobah told me much about your exploits. You're not the first video game player to get your soul trapped in this dimension, but you're certainly the first to stay alive so long.
Are you Boz?
I'm the one they call the Rider. I have been living on the Multiplayer Network for 200 of your years.
How did you become a virtual being?
A long time ago, I was a human being like you. A demon surprised me in my apartment. He killed both my wife and me. But my soul managed to escape him by taking refuge in the multiplan terminal. Deprived of my flesh and blood body, I have continued to live on the network amid the data and binary tides.
Tell me about Astaroth.
Astaroth was locked up in a cage for thousands of years by Cuchulainn, the hero of the Cobalt Wars. Now that he's free, the demon needs to build up his power again because it dwindled over the centuries. To do so, he needs souls. Thousands of souls.
Why does Astaroth need so much power?
He wants to rule this planet. If he succeeds, he will launch his legions of demons throughout our universe and then into your dimension. He will then be a god of evil and chaos, and nothing will be able to resist his power.
How does Astaroth go about capturing the souls of video game players?
He uses Omikron to attract souls. He asks players to put their spirit into a body in order to enter our dimension. As soon as the soul has come here, it only takes a demon to catch it and take it to Astaroth, who condemns it for all eternity, which very nearly happened to you.
So is my soul saved?
No, unfortunately. As long as your soul is a prisoner in Omikron, you run the risk of being caught by a demon and thrown into the reservoir.
Is there some way I can save my soul?
The only way to save your soul is to kill Astaroth. But nobody knows where he hides, not to mention how to go about killing him.
But I don't want to be damned.
Let me think. There might be a way to find out more about Astaroth. There's an old parchment that comes from the Cobalt Wars. It mentions Astaroth. Perhaps it says something about how to destroy the demon.
I love that "let me think." Guess we never gave defeating our primeval adversary much thought before.
Where is this parchment?
The parchment is in the central library of Omikron under strict guard at the top of the pyramid. Go to the library and gather together all the information you can find on Astaroth. The survival of your soul is at stake.
Where is the central library of Omikron?
The library is in the Lahore sector. You'll need a pass to get there. You'll find one somewhere in this house.
Thanks for your help, Boz.
I placed Jenna at the head of Phalanx 5 to replace Namtar the traitor. I asked her to give you all the help you need.
Why are you helping me like this?
Something tells me you can help us achieve our goal. An old legend recounts that only a Nomad Soul can hunt the demons out of Omikron. You may be the one we have been waiting for. I must go. Now the binary tides are turning. May Vaigrimuka guide your steps.
I'm not sure if his model was rendering right. That heavy black shadow on his crown thingy seemed like it should be fading into transparency instead. Well, bye, Boz. We'll be heading into the last available district of Omikron, Lahore. I wonder if David Cage did that George Lucas thing where he remembered the name of something, forgot it was actually a thing from real life, and then just used its name in his fantasy work, since, you know, Lahore is a real city. I thought a lot about why this game is so ramshackle and unfinished, and I think a lot of it might actually have to do with the involvement of Bowie and Reeves Gabriels. The idea was to use the game as a cross-promotion platform for the album Hours. Now, if there's anything I've learned about LPing video games, it's that they rarely get finished on time, especially sprawling open-world games like this. I also imagine that a big-time record company does not care if your video game thingy is not done. There might have been a contractual deadline that Quantic Dreams could not deviate from. So I think they just shored up the early game content, glued together some shit for the end, and rushed it out the door. So Lahore, a canal city where the pedestrians have a tendency to blink out of existence. Tediously, there are no sliders here. Apparently there were originally going to be water vehicles of some kind, or just sliders on the water, but that was thrown out with all the other stuff that was cut for time. That doesn't do this section any favors, because you have to walk everywhere. David Cage got started as a freelance musician for film, television, and video game productions, which probably led into how he roped in Bowie for the game. Omikron was his first game, yet he managed to convince Eidos to carry it, tie Bowie's name to it, and despite the lack of commercial success, go on producing one overhyped game after another. I believe Omikron actually got close to bankrupting Quantic Dream right off the bat, but their next game, Fahrenheit, was a big enough hit to keep them running. In the bank here, we have a familiar face. It's Plume, apparently very nervously waiting for someone. We're going to be revisiting her body for a moment, because there is a difference if you possess her here instead of when you lose the fight in Den's apartment. You get Plume's key to her apartment here in Lahore. We'll sell off Leolin's pendant.
Hello. What can I do for you?
Okay, that's the only thing I needed out of Plume. Let's rush over to the restaurant. Despite his nerdy Beatles haircut, I kinda like this guy. This is Soima, a dandy and gambler. In a nice bit of consistency, he has only 15 settings. Shit, there goes Plume's money. Well, he has an apartment key too, and conveniently, all of Lahore's apartments are in one single place. There's other apartment keys to gather, we'll check them out later. Oh look, a gate to Omikron's 4th district, Nagatane. Nagatane? Who knows? This district was cut from the game entirely, and there is nothing at all behind that door. From stuff extracted from the game, I've gotten the impression that it's supposed to be the even more elite district, where the richest people live, and it has the Palace of Resha, the ruler of Omikron, in it. Possibly also an important museum you were going to have a heist in, maybe the original place where the Omikron library was going to be, it's in Lahore now, and where the supercomputer X was housed. This is Lahore's one apartment building. Stuff about the cut content I got partially from the FAQ for Omikron on GameFAQs. There's only one FAQ for Omikron on GameFAQs, which is hilarious. Unfortunately, it's not just a document you open and then it just says no in giant ASCII art. It's written by a hero with the moniker Stupid, and without it, I would have never finished the shitty-ass puzzles in Lahore. So we'll start with checking out Iman's apartment. I'm half convinced Stupid sent the FAQ to themselves from the future in some kind of temporal bootstrap paradox, because I can't conceive of people solving this game on their own. Stupid has also done some work in uncovering some of the game's cut content by extracting graphics and unused dialogue text. More tar fight techniques, hang on a sec with that. Here's the mother load. Iman has a closet with all the transcan tapes for the songs from Hours. If you're missing any, you can find them here. Okay, my inventory isn't quite full yet. Did I not already find this one? I feel like I found another book that has the same moves but described them differently. Let's put on a song that isn't performed by the Dreamers in-game while we explore the apartment. There's some concept art for Iman's design on the wall. I think it's kind of a shame they didn't go with the exaggerated art style for the characters with the super long legs. Makes me think of Aeon Flux. Clean up my sneak a little. here's the flyer for the last Secret Dreamers concert.
all the same. Something about Mr. Apart, a whisper of hope that seemed to fail. Maybe I'm born,
Another history book, this one talking about the supercomputer X who controls Omikron.
breaking my life in two.
The bathrooms here are also pretty luxurious.
Now that I've really got a chance.
What is this game's deal with aggressive doors? It's a good thing they didn't program in that doors damage you. Whoa! Oh, almost out of bounds, almost out of bounds. Go.
Seeing my past and let it go.
Okay, that's it for Iman's place. Take the elevator back to the ground floor, then you can check out another apartment. Plume's place next. Wait, if Plume lives in Lahore, what the hell was she doing in Den's apartment building? It's no surprise that these apartments are just clones of each other, but it's a little jarring when you can check them out in such rapid succession. We'll put on another song to drown out the monotony. More flavor books. Yeah, we're not bothering with that. I'm not looking to learn the Gospel of Cage. This precious vase is actually an item that nets you a good amount of money if you sell it at the bank. I think like 950 centics.
I forgot what my mother said as we lay on your bed. A city full of flowers.
Another history book about Ix. This one mentions that there's actually other cities in Omikron on this planet, which, by the way, is apparently called Phanon. Supposedly, David Cage had plans for a sequel to the Nomad Soul, either called Karma or Exodus. No idea if you hope to collaborate with Bowie again, maybe a different musical artist. The idea got definitively canned after they made Indigo Prophecy. Not a whole lot else in here. Well, disappointing. Let's see if Soima's own apartment is better. Double waiver on the bed? Great, but at this point in the game there are no more shootouts until after a forced reincarnation, which means I'd lose the ammo for it anyway, thanks to that bug, so great. I've mentioned it before, but the different gameplay elements in Omikron are divided really poorly over the game. Lahore is going to be nothing but puzzles and adventuring, no combat or shootouts at all. Not until the very end of the game. Okay, we're done shopping for apartments. Since we've accomplished nothing of note here anyway, I'm going to the last of the Secret Dreamers concerts. It's in this abandoned factory, and I think if you don't find the flyer, the door simply doesn't open. All the Dreamer songs have grown on me, but I think I like this one the best. Enjoy the song, I'll see you in the next one.
What to wear, what to say.